And so once the underwriter gives us that thumbs up, then we can release that loan contingency. Contractually, the general contract timeline is 21 days. Typically, we're able to get that done within 15 to 17 days based on getting all the documentation from you as a buyer and from the listing agent for the property to be able to get that to the underwriter and for them to be able to kind of clear whatever items they need to clear. And so at that point, those are the three contingencies. Each one of those presents an off ramp. So if we come across anything in the documentation or the physical inspections that is a big concern and we bring it to the attention of the seller and we attempt a negotiation and we just cannot find a point of agreement, that's an off ramp and we get your full earnest money deposit back at that point. If we clear that, right, there's either no issues that we need to negotiate or we've negotiated and everybody's on the same page, we release our inspection contingency. We can no longer get off using that off ramp. Now that's the appraisal. And we'll go over these in more detail, but ultimately, like, the home has to appraise at the offer price, or if it appraises below, then we have to try to figure out kind of how we're going to handle that with the seller. And I'll go over some strategies in another video, but ideally, let's just hypothetically say that it's either come in at value, or if it came in below, that we've reached a point of agreement and we're comfortable moving forward. Don't worry about at appraising above. That's great. That just means you have instant equity in the home, so you never have to move your price up just because it appraises at more than what you offered. So that's the appraisal. And so once we kind of reach that point of agreement on that, we release, we're no longer able to get off that off ramp anymore, right? If we don't come to a point of agreement, then that's an opportunity for us to just say, you know what, I'm sorry, but we need to back out of this, and we get your full earnest money deposit back. The final one is that loan. So if there's some kind of crazy, unexpected event that results in you losing your job or some kind of an impact on your ability to qualify for the loan, of course, they're not going to give that final approval. And at that point, we just say, we're sorry, this unexpected thing came up and we are no longer eligible for our loan. And so we have to pull out of this process. We had every intent of closing this, but we are no longer able to do so. And so that's the final kind of off ramp, that if we do find ourselves in that, we communicate that and we get your earnest money deposit back, and we move on. And so once we release that one, though, the loan, once we release all three contingencies, there are no more off ramps. At that point, we are, I don't want to say plowing forward, we're moving forward to a close. And so again, that's why it's important for us to kind of like talk through these little details, and why I'm going to go into much greater detail in another video for these. And then finally, the closing costs. So here you have within the contract the terms that will dictate who takes on what cost associated with the closing of the contract, right? So in the Sacramento area, it's common, it's standard, honestly, to split the title fee 50-50. And so that's between the seller and the buyer. So that's just pretty standard. Again, if you want to make a very competitive offer, you could take it on, but it's standard for it to be split 50-50. The transfer tax. So when it comes to the transfer tax, there's two components that go into that. The transfer tax is a tax charge if you're subject to the city, or within the boundaries of the city, you have a city transfer tax. It's $2.75 for every $1,000. The county is $1.10 for every $1,000. So the total is $3.85 if you're subject to both the city and the county. And depending on where you're buying, if it's West Sac, it's a little bit different. If it's out in the Rancho Cordova area, it's a little bit different. And so, we will kind of base it on where you're buying. And so $3.85 for every $1,000. What this means is that for the purchase price, let's just say hypothetically it's $450,000. Or for ease of math, we're going to call it $400,000 is what we offered on the house. You divide that by 1,000, you get 400. You then multiply that 400 by the 385, so 400 by 385. Just quickly do this, so it's 0, 0, 20, 0, 0, 32. 0, 0, 12. So then total is 0, 0, 0, 4, 5, 1, boom, 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 2. So the total transfer cost for a home at $400,000 is $1,540, And so if you offer to split that, that just kind of shows some collaborative spirit in your offer. You would split that, and so your portion would be, $770. If we're having to compete against a lot of other offers, that's an opportunity for you to kind of just be more proactive and say, we'll take that on if that's something that you're able to do, because that just gets added to your closing costs, and your cash to close will grow based on that number. So that's the transfer tax. The home warranty is something that can be asked for. It's fairly standard to ask for the seller to give you a credit for that. It ranges anywhere from $385 to $545, depending on the company. And it's kind of up to you. If it's something that gives you additional peace of mind, it's different from home insurance. Home insurance covers the structure. Home warranty technically covers mechanical items, but the mechanical items have to be in proper working order in order to fall under warranty. If we're aware of any defects with, like an HVAC, for example, and you buy the home warranty in the hopes that when it dies, you can use it, more than likely you can't. And so it's a bit of a mixed bag with regard to the need for a home warranty, but just know it's something that if we're being competitive, I would advise you waive it. You can still buy it on the back end, but at the end of the day, we want our numbers to beat out any other offers numbers. And so sometimes waiving that $585 will make a difference. And then finally, and this I'll go into detail in another video, in some cases, a seller will need some time because they are in the process of purchasing a home themselves and are still in the process of looking or in the process of closing. And so they may need a period after the close of your escrow to remain in the house. And so I'll go over this in much greater detail, but that sometimes can be what wins out against other offers that don't have that flexibility to offer something like that in there. But these are kind of the key items that would be taken into consideration when we're putting together an offer. And of course, every single home that we write an offer for is going to require a unique combination of these. And so we'll be able to kind of talk about it as we come across homes that you really want to make your own, and make sure that we structure the strongest possible offer for you based on the home and based on any competition that we're aware of. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, again, I'm going to be covering some of these in much greater detail in subsequent videos, but don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you on the next one.